Good morning, class 5. In the previous video, you have read about the division of a decimal number by a whole number by 10, 100 and 1000. In this video, you are going to understand how you can divide a decimal number by a decimal number and how can you divide a whole number by a decimal number. These two things you are going to understand in this video. So take a look at this. Students, here we are going to understand the division of a decimal number by another decimal number. Suppose you have to divide 1.6 by 0.4. This is a whole number, a decimal number, and this is also a decimal number, and you have to divide these two things. So first you have to write in this way. This can be written as 1.6 by 0.4, like in fraction. Now you can see these two numbers are like decimals. Here the number of digits in the right side of the decimal 1, and here also the number of digits in the right side is 1. So these two numbers, the numerator and the denominator, both are like decimals. So you can just ignore the decimal. So you can write it 16 by 4. Okay. You have to ignore this decimal and write like this. And now it is a simple fractional question. 4 4 ja 16, and the answer will be 4. You can write it as 4. Okay. Next, take another example. 9.63 divided by 0.09. Here also you can see these two numbers are decimal numbers, and these are also like decimals. So just write in the form of fraction, numerator and denominator, and remove these two decimals because both are like decimals. So 963 by 9 you can write, and if you divide it by this, 9 1 ja 9, 0 9 7 ja 63, it will be 107. Now this is a very simple question of fraction. Okay. Now students, I am taking another example. In this example, the question is 1.44 divided by 1.2. Both are decimal numbers, but you can see easily these two numbers are not like decimals. So you have to change these numbers in like decimals. Now you can write it as 1.44 divided by 1.20. Now these two numbers are like decimals because the number of digits in the right side of the decimal both are same, 2 and 2. Okay. Now you can write it as 1.44 divided by 1.20. And now remove the decimals. Simply 144 by 120. Now you have to cancel out. How? 12 ja and 12 10 ja, and you know this will be 12 by 10, and you have read in decimal in fraction chapter, you can write it 1.2 because the number of 0 is here is 10. So you can just put the decimal after one digit in the from the right side. Okay. Now students, I am taking another example. 3.24 divided by 1.8. How can we divide? You just change these two decimal numbers into like decimals. You can write this question as 3.24 divided by 1.80. Now these two decimals are like decimals, and you can write it like that, 3.24 by 1.80. Now remove the decimals, 324 by 180, and now cut it, the numerator and denominator. It means you have to reduce these two things, 18 18 and 18 10, and it will be 1 8 by 10. Now this is the form of a fraction having denominator 10. So you can write this number as 1.8. You have read in chapter fraction. Okay. Now students, we are talking about the division of a whole number by whole number by a decimal number. Okay, by a decimal number. Okay, how can we divide? Suppose I am taking an example, 6 divided by 0.2. How can you divide? So you can write it in like decimals again, 6.0 divided by 0.2, and you can write it like 6.0 by 0.2. Now these are like decimals, so you can remove the decimals and it will be 60 by 2. Simply you can divide. Okay, now it will be 30. The result in a whole number is a whole number. Okay, I am taking another example, 15 divided by 0.05. So you can write it again as like decimal, 15.00 divided by 0.05, because here two decimals are there, two places in the decimal side, so you have to put two zeros. Now you can write 15.00 by 0.05. Okay, now you can remove the decimals and you can write 300. Very simple. If you divide 112 by 1.6, then you can write 112.0 divided by 1.6, and this can be written as 112.0 by 1.6, and this can be, now the decimals can remove 112.0 by 16. 16 7 ja 112, so it will be 70 by 1, that is 70. Now I think students, you understand how you can divide a decimal number by another decimal number, and how can you divide a whole number by a decimal number. You can also watch me on my YouTube channel, Ocean of Maths. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.